Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swagglehos. And holy moly, I finally got my Marvel trading cards back from PSA. This is a very, very exciting day, a very exciting video, because we are going to be doing an official unboxing for these Marvel cards. But before I get into the video, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel, doing those things, I would appreciate it. But let us get into this video here today. And of course, we got to jump right into the fun stuff. Now, if you guys remember, I started my channel about, a year and a half ago, and about a year ago, I'd say like 14 months or so ago, I actually made a video that really blew up for me. That was me talking about Marvel trading cards. And at that particular time, Marvel trading cards were going absolutely off the rails in terms of their prices, specifically, the Universe Series 1 and Series 2. And at the time I decided, with the ones that I have, maybe it would be worth me, sending in a few. But unfortunately, at that time, I was only willing to send them in the value modern tier, which was basically the snail mail equivalent of the grading. And it straight up took me 14 months to get these cards back here today. I mean, I sent them in February, and then they sat in PSA's room for 2 months, and then eventually they, got put into the system, and they weren't actually graded until just like a couple, months ago. And so now, without further ado, we are doing this unboxing here today. This is super exciting. Now, don't get too excited. When I sent in my cards, I didn't think, Jesus, this is like so. Okay, hold on a second, guys. When I sent in my cards, I didn't have too high of expectations for, any of the stuff I got. I mean, literally at that time, like everything was going crazy. I just took out my binders of cards and I just identified the ones that I felt like maybe were worth sending in. I probably should have just sent in the characters I actually really liked. But, I was doing this as sort of a learning experience for myself because, again, I'm not a professional grader. I'm not a professional card grader. And I just wanted to sort of learn and not overextend because, as we know, the prices for these things are not quite what they were when we started the process. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of pull them out one by one here. And luckily, what's really cool is that a year ago, I sent an email to myself to determine what the guesstimations for my grades were. So we can kind of like make that determination here together. Here you see February 19th of 2021 at 3:30 p.m. So, 14 months ago. And these are the grades that I actually wrote down for myself here. So I sent in this stuff. I kind of gave it a little bit of an approximation of what I think they are. So let us go through this one by one. And the first card, if I can pull this out here, is going to be this Doctor Doom Universe Series 1, and the grade in which I got was an 8. There you go, 1990 Marvel Universe Doctor Doom, near mint to mint, 8 grade, not very good. I guess this one did have kind of a bad alignment. I wrote right here in my document here, I said, Doom, I guess that this could have been a 9. I actually thought that maybe this had the potential to be a 10, although when I thought back on it, I was like, you know what, the alignment was pretty off. And I said, slightly top heavy, maybe some edges. So unfortunately, we didn't get the 9 that I was hoping for. And I do think that it is really funny, just so you guys know, in case you're not up to date with the Marvel card stuff, 8s definitely do not sell for anything. I mean, basically, it's the price of the card itself. But, for me, this is just something I'm excited to have for the PC. Doctor Doom, a cool character. So, cool to have him regardless. All right, let's see how I continue to do here. All right, 1990 Venom, the other card that I thought had the potential to maybe get a 10. But what did we get? We actually got a 9. 9 on the Venom right there. Unfortunately, I thought maybe it would be a possibility for us to get a 10. Let's take a look. I said Venom 9 or 10. Card number not centered. Oh, card number. Oh, so yeah. So this is what I was worried about. So you can see right here on the back, see this right here, the printing of this 73, that was not centered. So I was wondering if maybe that was going to be the reason why this card didn't get a 10, because when I was looking at it, I was like, this is pretty clean overall. It's one of the cleanest cards that I just had in my collection as far as centering, alignment, all that stuff. So I don't really know if that's the reason why the grade got knocked down, but still really cool to have these cards in these PSA cases. I think honestly, it's pretty awesome. And, I'm just a fan of these Marvel cards anyway. So, whatever grades I get are the grades I got. All right. Next up we have here is Silver Surfer 1990. Unfortunately, this one looks like I got an 8. So not quite the grade I was hoping for. I think on this one, I actually was hoping to get, let's see, Surfer 9 or 8, slight corner, I said. So a slight corner wear on this one. I guess that definitely dropped it down. Silver Surfer, one of my all-time favorite characters. Really happy to have this card. I mean, I think this one's pretty cool. Let me see. Where was the corner that caused this to have issues? I'm not really sure. I do think that there was like a little bit of a bend up there in the corner, but you know, again, I think anytime you get an 8 on some of these grades right here, basically the value becomes like the cost of the card. So like whatever, $20, $25, whatever the case is, in order to, you know, actually send it into PSA. If you have a 9, essentially where they are kind of hovering around right now is, you know, a 9, maybe you can get like $100 for it or so, depending on the character. And then the 10s are really the ones that are still sort of holding that value overall, or not necessarily holding the value of what they once had, but they are selling for like a few $100s here and there. So that's pretty cool. All right. Ooh. Definitely got hit pretty bad with this one. I sent in my 1990 Stan Lee right here. And what did I get? Yep, I got the dreaded 7. 7 on this one for the Stan Lee. This was the card that I felt like was probably going to be the card that held most of its value. If these cards were going to hold their value this year later, the Stan Lee one felt like a collectible that people would want to own because it's so iconic. But let's take a look at what I said here for Stan Lee. I said 8 or 7, some griminess. So I guess I can't really remember. I mean, it's been so long as to like what were the defects of this, but I said there was griminess on this card. So maybe there's a stain somewhere. I can't really remember. I guess I can see a little bit of staining on the edges of this card right here. But a 7, probably not too great, but, you know, again, still sort of fun to send in because that was my Stan Lee from back in the day. All right, next up here, I got, pretty surprised with this. All right, I got a Marvel 1990 Wolverine in the brown suit here. We got that Wolverine 9 right there, the 9 grade. Not too bad overall. I'm actually surprised with this one. This is one that I did not think was going to get a 9. Let's take a look at the grades here. I had an 8 for this one. Some corner, ink dot at top, slight alignment. So I identified a few things that I thought were, you know, kind of not good about this card right here. But I guess, you know, the graders were being, oh yeah, see it right here? This is something I noticed here at the top, if it gets focused. See right there, there's like this little dot. It could have been like from the printing, like maybe it was a leftover from something. So I definitely figured that that was going to be something that brought this thing down. I'm surprised that it didn't get an 8. So I'm kind of happy with a 9 overall. Again, I don't think I got any 10s because there were no cards outside of the Venom card and what I thought was maybe going to be the Doom card that had the potential to get 10. So I would be shocked if I did get any 10s. All right, next up here, we have Thanos in the PSA 8. Thanos in the PSA 8 right here. Again, not too bad. I felt like sending in my Thanos and Silver Surfer just because those are two of my favorite characters. What did I say for the Thanos here? Oh, I said 987 edges. So 987 edges. Basically, I had no idea what this could have graded out. I mean, I think this one had like a rounded corner. Yeah, I see a kind of a rounded corner here, a bend, and yeah, maybe another rounded corner somewhere. So I wasn't confident with what I was going to get with this one, but definitely not a 10. But, you know, I got the 8. That's not too bad. I mean, it'd be nice if I could get a couple more 9s. Hopefully we can get a few more 9s here. All right, this one for sure. Okay, this is what I was expecting with this one. I had my SpiderMan card. I've always loved this one. I decided to send this one in here, and I got the PSA 8. You can see right here, just the alignment with this one on the left side is so much skinnier than the right side right there. So when I sent this one in, I just knew I wasn't going to be getting a 10 or even a 9. I figured it would be an 8, and I was expecting that, but I just wanted to send it in because I've always liked this card. Yeah, my grade right there, Spider-Man 8, heavy left alignment. So definitely what I was expecting with this one. I did have the Cosmic Spider-Man, but my Cosmic Spider-Man was super messed up. So I felt like having a, you know, Spider-Man card in a series that gives me nostalgia at a PSA, in a PSA slab was going to be something worth sending in. So happy about that one. All right, next up here we have, this one got hit pretty hard. All right, next one up here we have Mr. Sinister in the PSA 8. Now, why did I decide to send this card in? Well, one of the reasons, when we were doing this sort of speculation of what, Marvel cards were doing and what cards are maybe going to hold value and stuff, I actually decided that I would send in this Mr. Sinister card because this card is truly Mr. Sinister's rookie card. Like there are some other cards like with characters, Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America, things like that, that have cards that, arguably could be argued the rookie cards, from the 60s. They have those like sticker ones. They had a set that came out in the 80s, which to me, the artwork doesn't look that great, but at the same time, like, if you wanted to make the argument that those were the rookie cards, you definitely could do that. Well, this Mr. Sinister card, this is truly his first rookie card. So I figured, hey, why not send it in? It might be worth, having the actual rookie card of these characters. So what did I say for the grade here? Mr. Sinister 987, slight alignment, and a scratch. So I guess the scratch, which I don't really remember where the scratch was on this card, but I did say that there was a scratch. So maybe somewhere in the glare, there was a scratch on this thing. All right, next up here, what do we have? We have ooh, that is terrible. All right, this is the first true bust that we have for ourselves. I got this XMen card right here, which came back a PSA 6. You can see PSA 6. Don't really know why this one got hit as so hard in comparison to the others. Like, I mean, it feels like my set overall is consisting of like 8s, maybe a 9 here or there. So I don't really know what held this card back. Let me see what I wrote for this one. XMen, 9 or 8, dot on the back, ring on back side, slight alignment. So ring on back side, maybe that's the thing that really hurt it, but what is the ring I'm talking about? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like I'm trying to look at it. I mean, definitely the alignment is not perfect. And are there any dots or rings? I don't really see it. So I don't really know why this card got a 6 on it. In fact, I actually think friend of the channel, Neo, Cards and Comics, he's also sent in his X-Men one. And if I recall correctly, he had like a very big flaw on his X-Men that he couldn't find as well. And for some reason, his card got super, super knocked for that reason. So I don't know, maybe there's something on this X-Men card that, you can't see with human eyes. All right, one of my favorite villains of all time. And this grade kind of disappoints me because of what could have been. But I got the Mephisto card right here. I got the PSA 7 on this one, and I definitely know why this is going to be this was a 7. The morning in which I was sending off my PSA cards, I woke up really early. I had them all on my desk here. I was drinking my coffee, and I accidentally knocked my coffee over, and the coffee hit the corner of this card, and I tried to get it out, but I wasn't able to fully clean it. And so up there, you can maybe just see just that little bit of fraying up there at the top. So this one really hit the corner pretty hard. Otherwise, like I would have thought that this could maybe have gotten a 9. The alignment's not totally perfect, but outside of that flaw that I created for myself the morning I sent it in, it did have a pretty good chance. So Mephisto here, I said 5, 6, 7, 8, back upper left surface. Yeah, so I basically created a coffee stain for myself. So unfortunately, I was sort of expecting a 7. I guess it could have been worse. It could have been a 5 or a 6 like the X-Men card. All right, this next one here, one of my favorite characters of all time next to Silver Surfer is, of course, Darkhawk right here, which I also got a 7 on. I sent this one in simply because of the fact that Darkhawk was one of my favorite characters. I had no expectations with this card. This one was the one that I just happened to have. The alignment was off. There was some staining on it. But this was another instance where, for me, I wanted to send it because it's a character I like. And then also, this is truly Darkhawk's rookie card. And if we go here, I look at the grade that I wrote for myself, 5, 6, 7, 8, align left, color break corner, color foxing bottom, maybe scratches. So yeah, a bunch of things wrong with this card overall. But for me, I just wanted to have a Darkhawk card in a PSA slab. So I didn't mind sending it in for that reason. But that would be actually be a card that I personally might chase to get a 10 for at some point in the future, just because, it just brings me a bunch of nostalgia. All right, next up here, I have another villain character that I sent in for spec. Didn't do too well with this one here, but this is Nightmare. Nightmare was presumably going to be the villain of the Doctor Strange 2 movie at one point. And as you can see, I got the 7 here. One of the reasons I sent in this card was, it was me speculating that by the time I get these cards back, I might get, people might still be going after them. Maybe Nightmare was going to be the villain of Doctor Strange, and for that reason, people would be looking at Nightmare cards. Well, I didn't do too well here. Let me see what happened with this one. Nightmare, I said 7 to 8 edges and 1 corner chip. So not, at least I'm sort of hitting the ballpark of what I thought with some of these cards. I guess there's a corner ding right there, I think. And again, this was a card that I just decided to send in because, I was thinking if Nightmare ends up being the villain of Doctor Strange, maybe people would be chasing that card. So it was sort of me doing my little speculation, which is interesting because as I've been talking to other people in the Marvel card market, right now Marvel cards are still fairly popular. It's just not the Universe 1 that people really chase. It's like the precious metal stuff. It's like some of the other years and the other sets that are definitely more rare that people are looking at. But the spec market, as far as the characters are concerned, don't really move the market in the same way. So my question was like, does Moon Knight, when the Moon Knight TV show is going on, does that move the card market? And ultimately, the answer to that question is not really. I mean, sometimes it does have a little bit of an effect, but, generally speaking, people are looking for the top tier characters. And that makes sense because, it's still kind of an immature market. People are still sort of figuring it out. So like the spec stuff is maybe something that would happen years down the line. All right, this next card was one that I sent in. I don't even know why I sent this one in, but this one right here is the comic book cover card, Tales of Suspense 39. I mean, I do love this comic, and it is something that I would love to add to my collection at some point, but it's got the PSA 9 there. I don't really know why I specifically chose to send in this one. I think I was trying to do it for a learning experience because I think there might have been a flaw on this that I wanted to know what that would grade out to. So TOS 39, 8 to 9 single dot. Okay, so I guess somewhere on this card, it had a single dot, and I was curious if that dot in and of itself takes the card grade down. So maybe that's why I sent it in. But yeah, these comic book cards, the ones that actually have the comic book books in them, those ones like have really dropped off in value. All right, this next card I sent in is another spec character, but this one is actually the Mandarin. Of course, in Shang-Chi, we had the Mandarin as the main villain of that film, so my thought was to send in this card as another potential spec card character. You can see I got the PSA 8 on this one. Another card I didn't necessarily have any expectations for hitting a 10 in any kind of way. Let me see what I wrote down for myself. 7 to 8 food stain and slight alignment. So I guess this had like a food stain on it. Maybe when I was a kid I had some grubby fingers and I was touching it, but I don't really know where I still see. Maybe I see it down there on his leg or whatever. But again, another card I sent in simply due to the fact that I was thinking, hey, if this comes back at a decent grade and these cards are still a thing, Mandarin is the villain of the Shang-Chi movie, and maybe that'll be a thing. All right, similarly, this next card I got here, Baron Mordo. Of course, Baron Mordo was the villain of Falcon and Winter Soldier, so my thought process was the same in that one right there. This one I got a little luckier here. I got a 9, PSA 9, so, not too bad. I haven't gotten too many 9s. I'm surprised that Wolverine got a 9, and I don't know if my expectation was a 9 for this one here, but let me see. Baron Zemo, 7, 8, 9 alignment. So I wasn't sure with this one, but I guess this one was good enough to get a 9. Baron Zemo in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought, why not send that one in for grading? All right, next couple here. Okay, another 9 here. I sent in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Not really sure why I decided to send in this card. It might have just been due to the fact that this was just a card that maybe had the potential to reach a little bit of a higher grade because, I was just pulling from what I had in my binder. This one I had 8 to 9 alignment. So I just, again, pulled that one out of my binder thinking like, this one looks pretty good. Maybe I'll send in this one. All right, we have a few more cards here, about 4 more. So let's kind of power through this here. This Hawkeye card I sent in. This is the Series 2 Hawkeye. I got the PSA 8 for this one right here. So not too easy to get these good grades. Again, another card I sent in because this was, I think, Hawkeye's rookie card as far as I could tell. He didn't actually have a card in Series 1. So I called this one 8 to 9 with alignment. So I guess this one gets an 8 for some reason. Maybe the alignment is just too far off. for it to have gotten a 9. So unfortunate with that one. Another one I sent in, another rookie card situation. Series 2, Fang Fang Fu. This was a character that was maybe going to be showing up in Shang-Chi. There was a lot of talk of a dragon. Didn't turn out to be Fang Fang Fu. In fact, it was a different dragon, and then they had the Dweller in the Dark. So Fang Fang Fu, not a character in the Shang-Chi universe. This one I got the PSA 7, so this one really got hurt. Let's take a look at what I have for the grades. 8 to 9, slight alignment, small color break on the edge. So I don't know, maybe these Series 2 cards have more potential to be hurt because there's more color on them overall. All right, next card here, another character that I wanted to send this one in for the spec reasons, but Kang the Conqueror. This also, I think, is Kang the Conqueror's rookie card, unless there is another series that I'm not aware of, but he did not have a card in Series 1. This one was all sorts of beat up, so I ended up getting the 7 right there. This is one that, again, I was just trying to time the market and sending in what I had. I definitely think that, what did I have here with this one? 6, 7, 8, heavy alignment and dimples on the back. Yeah, there were some dimples, like some gravel had rolled across the back of this card. But this would be another one that, you know, I would be interested in kind of chasing a 10 for, or like trying to get a 10 of that card. I really do like that card. I love, you know, seeing the power stats on the back. So it's kind of nice to have it in a PSA case. All right, and the last card I got here, hey, we kind of end on a little bit of a high note, but I did get a 9, so no 10s for me. But I did send in this Moon Knight card, and I did notice that this one is maybe one that sells for an okay amount of money, meaning like, you know, $80, $90, maybe $100 because of the character of Moon Knight. I'm actually surprised that this got a 9. This was a card that I didn't think I should send in because if I recall my notes here, I said 6, 7, 8, scratch on the surface, chip on the corner. So maybe the graders actually missed something. They missed the scratch because I was like really hesitant to throw this in the batch because it had some scratch like somewhere on the back. But I am happy to get a 9 overall. Well, that is all of my cards. It took 14 months to get these PSA cards back. I gotta say, you know, it is still super fun to have all these in the cases. I sent them in the lowest tier, so it was about $20 a card. So I'm not too worried over the fact that I got not very good grades. I mean, that was like part of my philosophy when I originally sent in the cards, was like, I just was looking at my stuff and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be getting 10s out of most of these, if any of them. So let me just send them in the absolute slowest way possible. And, you know, I think we walked away with a couple cards that I actually really like. I mean, I would be interested to maybe get some 10s eventually for the characters I like Silver Surfer and things like that. But ultimately, I'm okay with these grades because these are just cards that I'm happy to have for the PC. Anyways, that's all for this video. That was me doing my Marvel card unboxing, or PSA unboxing. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have cards still at PSA from that time when all the Marvel cards were blowing up? Let me know if you guys would like me to do more Marvel card content, because there is some interesting stuff going on in the market right now. Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next video.